Absolutely. He hasn't played in the second half the last 2 games against both Jamestown and Dickinson. Handoff again to Joes. He's going to get stopped in the backfield. A big defensive play by number 95, Dustin Hermanson of the Mandan Braves. That's going to set the Bismarck High Demons back about 4 yards on that one.
Well, that's not something you see with that offensive line that lost 2 starters to suspension for the full season. But a leak right there that allowed Hermanson to come in and just make a great tackle, like you said, to knock the Demons back 4 yards.
Bismarck High's got 2nd and 13 right now. They're going to hand off again to Joes. He's got room. He plows ahead, gets tripped up there, but I think he gets about 5 or 6 on that one. That should bring up 3rd down. 8.5 minutes here to play in the opening quarter. Bismarck High on their first drive of the day. That'll make it 3rd and 9.
The last 2 plays, they've split 2 receivers off to the left side, which is kind of interesting, kind of maybe opening up the field for Joes. This Mandan defense, talking to Todd Sheldon too, undersized really, but really feisty, he said.
Yeah, definitely undersized when you consider your best defensive player only 5 foot 8 inches tall, but both teams a little nervous about Tyler Sadowski. This time Jolliffe back to throw, and it looks like they're going to call this one a catch by that's number 4, Nick Goulet. So he's going to be down at about the 17-yard line. Bismarck High, that'll bring up, I think, about a 4th and 4 maybe.
They're calling it a first down. That was close there. Not a formation you see very often in Mark Gibson's offense. 4 receivers. Lane Joe stayed back to block, and but a lot of time to get that ball in there.
This time they've got 3 in the backfield. They're definitely mixing things up here early. The handoff to Joes. He's going to plow ahead. Touchdown, Bismarck High. He gets in. 7.5 minutes to play in the first quarter. Bismarck High gets on the board first. Lane Joes with a 10-yard touchdown. That's his 16th touchdown of the season. Bismarck High rolling early.
Yeah, just a huge hole, a little cutback by Joes, basically almost untouched into the end zone. So the Demons jump out here to a 6-0 lead with 7:32 left in the first quarter as they set up for the extra point.
Josh Seibel's extra point is good, and it is 7-0 Bismarck High. Again, 7.5 minutes to play.
Let's take a look at this play again and show you what Mark Gibson has been so happy with the play of this offensive line, and I think you'll get a good indication here as to why. Looking at the push there, and Jost, like I said, virtually untouched on that 15-yard scamper into the end zone, his 16th touchdown on the year. And not surprisingly, when we talked to Mark Gibson earlier this week, he wanted to get off to a fast start, I think, and quell any sort of an idea that Mandan may have that they could stay in this game. So now it'll be interesting to see how the Braves respond.
Like you and I talked earlier this week to Lane Joes, and I think what he would say on that play, definitely his offensive line opened up that hole. He's very humble about the fact that, yeah, he may have 1,000 yards, he may have 15 touchdowns, but he definitely doesn't do it alone.
No, when you have that kind of a hole,
yeah,
you know, you got to tip your hat to that offensive line, which is really, you know, Mark Gibson said he sees them hanging out together, and he says they've really become a unit, which of course makes a big difference in the running game.
Nate Schmidt pulling this kickoff back. He's going to be out to about the 30-yard line. That's where Mandan will take over with their second possession of the game. Hopefully this time they can get the ball moving a little bit more down the field.
Todd Sheldon talking about the Demons special team, and he said they've watched them tape and seen 10 of the 11 guys reach the 20-yard line at the same time. So the tenaciousness of this Demon defense and special teams units is really unparalleled.
Ross Effort's back. He takes a direct snap and he goes through. He's still on his feet, pushing forward. That defense pushing him back, though. He gets about, looks like 3 yards on that carry. That should bring up 2nd down and 10. Or 7, excuse me.
That was actually Tyler Sadowski, like in a wildcat formation, taking the direct snap, no quarterback on the field, and he's going to be the signal caller the way it looks right now. I do not see efforts on the field, but number 43.
You're right about that.
The linebacker lining up in essentially a shotgun formation.
obviously trying to throw off this Bismarck High defense. Everybody knows that they are tough. They really get to the ball. He's going to bowl through for a couple more. Sadowski again on the carry. He gets this one up to about the 35-yard line.
Well, he's got a reputation, obviously. Lane Joe's even called him out by name. I think growing up through the years, he's put a helmet on Joe's a time or two, but a lot of respect for him. His efforts now does come back into the game, but I think you're right. Todd Sheldon, Mandan's coach, probably trying to catch the Demons off balance a little bit.
Yeah, do a few looks that they maybe haven't seen before. So efforts back in the shotgun here. He's going to hand this one off, run it himself. He gets out, looking to throw. No go on this one. Bismarck High's defense seals it there. Lee Brown angle on the coverage for Mandan. That'll bring up a 4th down and about 7 to go. You assume Mandan is going to kick this one back to Bismarck High. Brett Adam dropping back to receive here. He's got his toes at this point on the 45.
Yeah, just about the exact same time as last time. Looks like back-to-back 3-and-outs. Brett Adam lined up on the 45. This time he's on the 40. And Mandan just not able to get anything going on offense.
This punt is blocked. I think that was number 98, Stanley Jones.
Ricardo Galindo was actually the one in there 24. That got a hand on the ball. And then it was Tyler Claremont that came up, jumped up and grabbed it out of the air, I believe, number 89.
So Bismarck High will take over right now. 5:55 here to go. Let's look at the replay of that blocked punt.
Yeah, same formation as the first time. The punter running to the right. And, well, let's let this play go here as the Demons have the ball in great field position inside the Braves' 40-yard line with 5:54 to go in the first quarter.
Handoff to Joes. Taken down at about the 47-yard line. That'll bring up 2nd down. 37-yard line.
Number 42, Brady Skitland, wrapping up Joe's there after the short gain. 5:35 to go. The Demons scored on their first possession, a 15-yard touchdown by Joe's, and trying to march in for another one here. So we're just underway at the Community Bowl.
You might notice that Bismarck High has those pink socks on today. All the coaches wearing pink as well. Jolliffe drops back, looking to pass. He's got nobody there. A couple of guys downfield, but not eligible receivers.
There is a flag on the play.
There is a flag on the play here.
Number 95, Logan Clenzy, 5'10", 155-pound sophomore in the backfield. If that sounds right. That guy looks a little bigger out there on the field, doesn't he? I think I'm looking at Dustin Hermanson instead. Got into the backfield there.
Yeah, he's quite a bit bigger, 6'3".
We'll see what the call is here on the field.
Yeah.
Took a little while for that play to develop, and somebody got a little far downfield.
Yeah, I think that was, if I remember right, Dylan Schneibel, and also number 57, Jamie Thorson.
That'll bring up about a 2nd down and 13 from the 39-yard line of the Braves.
Just one in the backfield, Riley Plant. They've got trips out to the right. And that one batted down by number 94, David White. Bismarck High back to the 52 as Brett Adam has to come in and cover that one up.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see that again. They're actually saying that was not a forward pass, and that was a live ball, and now the Demons face a very, very long 3rd down. But what's interesting is the formations that Mark Gibson is throwing out on the field offensively. What impressed me about the game against Century is they just basically marched it downfield and didn't really get very fancy. Here tonight we're seeing 3 and 4 receiver sets. 3rd and 24 for the Demons at 49, their own 49-yard line.
Ben Jolliffe back. He's looking to pass again, rolling out to his left. He's going to run this one. Not a lot there. He gets it out to about the 45-yard line of Mandan, but on 4th down, or that'll bring up 4th down, so nothing there. Bismarck High will have to punt this one back to Mandan as they bring out their kicker, Hayden Gibson, number 8.
Dustin Hermanson, number 95, having a really active night. He got back there again, fell down, got up, and got in on the tackle. We'll see if the Demons really do choose to kick here. 3:54 to go in the first quarter.
Good kick there by Gibson. He booms that one back to about the 11-yard line. Nate Schmidt taking this one out for Mandan, trying to find an edge there, doesn't get it. I think that was number 33, Josh Seibel, in there on the coverage, bringing down Nate Schmidt.
Well, again, we talked about the team speed, and Mark Gibson did as well, of this Demon team. You asked him the question. He said he thought this was probably the best defensive team he's had in his 14 years as head coach at Bismarck High. He didn't want to put the offense up quite that high. Of course, a few years back they had a pretty potent offense with Esley Thornton as quarterback, but you just really see how well they get down on down the field on kickoff and punt situations.
Yeah, people remember that 2009 team with Esley Thornton, Jake Miller, Nick Jolliffe, Ben Jolliffe's brother at wide receiver. That was a very high-octane offense.
And we have another change in the backfield here.
Definitely trying to mix things up is Mandan. This one breaking through for a few yards. Number 7, Brady Zittelman. That's their backup quarterback in. So I don't know. You know, if they're just trying to mix it up, maybe Ross Efforts isn't feeling so great. We don't know for sure, because earlier in the week we were told that Ross Efforts was questionable for this game. So
I went down on the field beforehand, as you did, and I was watching Ross, and he really put some zip on that football, and he looked fine. But who's to say? One thing that could be for certain, Mandan trying to get a little creative to throw the Demons off their game a little bit. A 6-yard gain, 2nd and 4 with just under 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter.
Zittelman back in there. He's going to run this ball. Looks like they're going to be a little bit short there. Looks like they maybe gained 1, maybe 2 on that play. Not a lot.
That was Nathan Schmidt, and they talked about him playing 2 ways and also having some great speed, but they're just not able to turn an edge yet on this Demon defense. And 3rd and 5.
Here comes Tyler Sadowski back in.
Back in. Okay.
Definitely some interesting looks coming in here from Mandan. I've seen him play several times this year, and I can say that I haven't seen very many of these formations.
Well, it's essentially like the Wildcat, right? It's a direct snap to an unexpected signal caller, I guess you could say. And Mandan, I think, taking a timeout there as the clock was winding down with 2:09 here to go in the first quarter, and the Demons up 7-0.
Not a lot of action so far. When you say, Tom, it's been pretty quiet. Both teams, you know, Bismarck High's had 2 possessions. First possession, they came down and scored. Second possession, you know, definitely not their look. They also, like we said, trying to throw in a few looks that maybe Mandan hasn't seen. Typically, we don't see them with more than 2 receivers out on the field at once, but they had trips out to the right and left multiple times, so definitely trying to throw something in there.
And that 4-receiver set on the long 3rd down, but maybe something for future defenses to see on film too, perhaps down the road, some different looks from Bismarck High.
Yeah, it's hard to believe this is already week 7 of the football season. Tonight, they've got a game. Bismarck High has a game next Thursday and the following Thursday. They have no Friday night games left on their schedule, so the season's really starting to wind down. Bismarck High is 3-0 in the West region at this point. Mandan is 1-2 in the West region right now. Mandan is outside of playoff contention. A win tonight obviously would go a long ways.
Well, then they've got to come back across the river next week and play Century on this very same field.
Their toughest 3 weeks. Last week they had Red River. This week they've got Bismarck. Next week Century. Definitely a tough schedule here in the middle.
Efforts back under center, and the give is to Sadowski off to the left, but that's going to be short of the first down as we hit that 2-minute mark in the first quarter.
Something we haven't mentioned, Mandan's missing their starting tailback, Matt Zeman, the 6'3", 210-pound tailback is out this week. Separated shoulder. We found that out on Monday when we were over there talking, and I think that was definitely a big setback for them, something they definitely didn't want to see go down. He has most touches for Mandan this season.
Well, you mentioned he's just such a good all-around athlete for Mandan. Definitely a guy you want on the field in a game like this.
Short punt here for Mandan. That one will go out to about the 42-yard line.